Guys, how are you? Wakey, handoff snaky for your Saturday morning. We're coming in live for a nice early podcast. This is going to be fun. I think it's going to be beneficial for a lot of people, particularly those who are the serial New Year's resolutionists. And we're going to be getting this episode started in just 2 minutes. So as you're coming into this one live, guys, would love to let you know in the comments. If you're coming in to watch this one live, let us know, say hello, let us know what you're going up onto this weekend, what is happening, what you got planned. It is freaking freezing here in Vancouver. It's literally just started snowing again. I can't sort of turn my camera while it's live, but it's actually quite beautiful to watch on. But I tell you what, it is freaking cold. I think like -3 at the moment. So to all our friends in other cold parts of Canada, I do apologize because you guys have it much worse than we do. So, all right, who we got in here? We got some crew. We got Terry. How are you, my legend? Davey Jackson. Lovely to have your company here today, my brother. Hello, Gina. Where is it where you are, Gina? How chilly? Tell me. Billy boy, what's going on, mate? I hope you've had a beautiful start to your morning. We've got, who are this? Morning, mate. Can't say who that is. Doesn't matter. Kenny, Mark, and Kev, the Scottish boys, are together doing their thing. And something a little bit different, guys. We are now live on TikTok and Twitter, of all places. So I don't really know if Twitter's even a thing anymore, but look, it's fun nonetheless. We got 27 degrees. You got to put that in Celsius. I've got no idea what that means, Gina. Sorry. Fahrenheit, don't know. Trent Barnett, how are you, my legend? Guys, we're going to get started in this episode in 1 minute, and we're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. So let us know in the comments if you would like to come in. Guys on TikTok, thanks for your company here. Lovely to have your company. We do this podcast twice weekly, usually, so we're going to be kicking this off in 30 seconds, guys. So how was the stomp in Scotland, Kev? I hope you guys had a beautiful time, mate. All right, let's do this. I think we are ready to rock and roll on the podcast, making sure we are set up and ready to go, and we are, and let's do it on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast that you come to when you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be having a discussion about the top reasons why New Year's resolutions fail. And I've got 4 big ones for you guys. I also want to say hello to Twitter and TikTok. It's kind of a funny thing that I'll tell you about. On TikTok, you're not allowed to go live until you've actually got, I think it's 1,000 followers perhaps. And I want to say a special thanks to our members of Better Body Academy, because when I put up that post the other day and said, should I jump in the pool? And I created a TikTok and a reel out of it. What actually happened was it's got 500,000 views on TikTok, and it's brought in a bunch more followers, which means I can now do live on TikTok. So I wanted to thank you guys for challenging me to do that. I hope you got a little bit of enjoyment at my expense. It was fucking freezing. Anyway, let's get into today's episode. So what I want to do in this episode here is aim for you to dominate 2023, okay? I want you to stop from making the mistakes, I guess, that I see so many people make as a health and fitness coach. As the year comes to an end, I feel like our plane starts to land and we're like, you know what? I just can't wait for this year to be over. It's like, I can't wait to get through December. I can't wait to get through Christmas and New Year. And guess what? When all the festivities are out of the way, then I can start on my transformation. It's almost as if we feel this recalibration that's going to happen for us. So let us know if you are a New Year's resolutionist. Get in those comments and let us know if this is like part of the thing that you do. We set New Year's resolutions every year. Now, in reflection, we are 11 months through the year. How has your year been? A lot of people here are going to have had a successful year and absolutely dominated. But if you're getting to the close of the year and feel like, you've kind of missed out on a few of the targets that you're setting, I want to perhaps give you some reasons in this episode here so that you can plan for the future. So, what is a New Year's resolution? Let's start at the most basic level. What is it? It's the idea that we're going to say, okay, this year I'm going to do this thing. And a lot of us set these freaking outlandish things. We're going to run a marathon, and literally we haven't run more than 2 kilometers in the last 10 years. I'm going to be able to lose 50 kilos in the new year, and literally it's not that important to us. Why do we actually set them? I think we set these New Year's resolutions because what we want to do is give ourselves some hope going into the new year, right? We want to feel like, okay, let's put that behind us. Going into the new year, this is going to be different. Times are going to change. I'm going to make this year count. And what we think that's going to happen is it's going to create a whole bunch of motivation within us. Okay? So the thinking behind a New Year's resolution is around goal setting. And I think this is a really, really good thing. But the facts are around 88% of New Year's resolutions fail, and they fail before the end of January. So even though the intention is good, the stats are way against us. It just doesn't look very good, okay? I want to go through with you so that you have the awareness as to why they fail, so that perhaps you can make next year an absolute banger. So let's go through the 4 major reasons, starting at number 1. Number 1 is around momentum, okay? Here's the biggest challenge that I see. Momentum is everything in life. It's everything in business. It's everything in relationships. It's everything in our health. If we get to the point where we come to a stop, I want you to think of yourself like a ship on the ocean, okay? Once you're in momentum, things are good. But trying to get something to start moving requires a hell of a lot of what we call activation energy. Activation energy is almost like trying to ignite a fire or with a matchstick, okay? If you don't use much activation energy and you just tap the matchstick against the side of the box, nothing happens. You've got to be able to strike the matchstick with enough force that it catches fire. And this is exactly the same when it comes to getting into momentum in our life. Let's talk about our fitness transformation. One of the struggles is that people set a New Year's resolution, which is great, it's a good idea, but what's happening is they're coming into the new year with no momentum. So we gradually come into December and we're almost like our plane becomes grounded, and then we get into Christmas and Boxing Day and New Year's and New Year's Day. There's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of partying. Often there's no work, so there's more time with the family. We're getting comfortable. All this stuff is really, really great for recalibration, for sure, and I'm not saying that I'm against it. But if you completely throw the baby out with the bathwater and you stop doing the things that have brought you momentum, you come to a dead halt. And then what happens is you wake up on somewhere around the 10th to the 15th of January and you say, right, time to get started. And you're like that big old ship that's trying to get into momentum. It is so freaking tough. So what we need to do is, by all means, have a drink, have the food, relax up, spend some time in the sun, whatever it is that you would love to do this Christmas. But don't stop doing the things that have brought you the results to this point. Now, inside our academy, we talk about our trifecta system. But even if you're not inside our academy and you're in momentum, let's get into momentum before the new year ends, the new year starts, rather than waiting for the new year to start. Because what it's going to feel like is it's going to feel like everyone's already started and you're now left behind. Does this make sense? One of the reasons that I love getting up early is because it feels like I'm ahead of the rest of the world. That's great, because if I get up at 5 o'clock, most people are still sleeping. This makes me feel ahead. If I get up after a sleep in and it's 8 o'clock, I feel like I'm behind. And it's on a macro level, the exact same thing when it comes to a New Year's resolution. If you are waking up on the 10th or the 15th and trying to get started, of January that is, you're going to feel like you're behind, you're in no momentum, it's going to really be a struggle, okay? So the first reason is momentum. Number 2 is prioritizing the right things. So is there anyone that's watching that feels like they just have ample amounts of time? Like they literally have so much time, it's not funny. And I'm guessing the answer is a big fat 0. We're busy. Our attention is spread really thin. We've got a ton of priorities. And so if we start adding things and jump on the New Year's resolution bandwagon, but when we think about it, it's actually not that important to us, then we're setting a plan to fail before we even start. Now, I'll give you an example. Me personally, one of the New Year's resolutions that I set at the start of this year was to improve my mobility, okay? I set a goal that by the end of the year, and I even put a post up on it, that I'm going to be able to do the splits, right, that way. Why did I want to do that? Well, when I think about that in hindsight, it was because it was a challenge for me and I just liked the idea of being able to do the splits. That sounds like a really cool thing. By about February and March, when my missus was pregnant again, business is busy, clients want what they want, I want to work with you guys to get results, the shiny object wears off a little bit. And all of a sudden, when I've got an overflowing cup, was doing the splits really that fucking important? 0. Absolutely unimportant. And so for this reason, we've got to make sure that if we are going to put in a New Year's resolution, it's something that we actually prioritize as one of our top 3 most important things. If you are saying, I'm going to lose 20 kilos next year, and losing weight, when you think about it, is something that you would like, but it's just not as important as business. It's not as important as family. It's not as important as holidaying. It's not as important as Netflix. Are you really going to commit to it? And so what you would be better to do is not commit to it in the first place, so you don't feel like a failure and let that impact upon you in other areas. Does this make sense, guys? So instead, just cut it off. Don't commit to it in the first place. So far, we have said problem number 1 is no momentum. Problem number 2 is prioritizing things that you don't really care about. Problem number 3 that I see where people are failing on their New Year's resolutions is self-belief. Here's what happens. I could pitch you our academy, okay? You could look at all of our transformations and you could go, holy shit, these guys are doing some incredible things. And we are. You look at our Facebook wall, our website wall, it is ridiculous how many people have come into our academy this year and done incredible things. The problem is that we could have the best system, we could have the best coaches, we could have the best strategy. All of that is completely useless if you don't bring some self-belief. And here's the thing that I see becoming a problem. Self-belief and confidence gets eroded when people keep committing to things and then not following through. Let me ask you a question. For those of you that are in relationships, if your partner told you constantly that they were going to do something, take the rubbish out, pick the kids up from school, be back home by 5 o'clock, whatever it is, and they didn't follow through, would your trust in that relationship with that person, with your partner, would it be eroded? It would disappear quite quickly, right? Your confidence in your partner would disappear quite quickly. Yet we forget that we're in a relationship with ourselves. And so what happens is we keep promising ourselves that we're going to do this thing. And I'm not just talking about New Year's resolutions now. I'm talking about little micro things like I'm going to start getting up at 6 o'clock as an example, and then we sleep in the next day. I'm going to start on my diet, but then something comes up and I don't do it. What happens is with each occasion that we break our word, our trust in ourselves goes down just one level, just one level, just one level, just one level, until we reach a point where we just don't believe in ourselves anymore. And so we want to execute, but we just don't trust ourselves. I could show you the perfect plan, the perfect system, all the proof, but you have so much self-doubt that it doesn't work. And this is where I think a lot of people are stuck. Number 4 of the New Year's resolution killers is strategy. Let's talk about strategy. Let's say that you've worked on your self-belief and your confidence. Let's say that you are in momentum. And let's say that you've decided, I am going to prioritize my health and my weight as one of the top 3 things that I'm going to work on next year. This is excellent. You've gone through the process that I've outlined here. You've prioritized, you've made sure that you're in momentum through December, coming into the new year, and then you've been working on your self-belief, and this is good. The fourth step is, well, okay, what's the strategy going to be? Because here is a problem that I see from a lot of people that are motivated and disciplined, is they're just putting a lot of energy into the wrong thing. There's nothing more frustrating, or it's not frustrating, is not the word. It is, saddening, I don't know what the word is. Going to the gym and seeing the same guys and girls turning up every day and they're training. They're up early. They're getting into it. But what they're doing is completely ineffective. As an example, let's say you had a weight loss goal and you paid no attention to your eating, but you just worked very hard on your cardio and your resistance training. Strategically, the chances of you being successful are exactly 0. They're 0. The reason is because you're never, ever, ever going to outrun the calories contained in a really bad nutrition plan. You're just never going to do it. And so what happens is you turn up, you start making your deposits, you start putting in the effort, you start getting on the grind, and then you just get frustrated because you keep stepping on the scales, you keep looking in the mirror, and nothing's changing. So all good intention, really good mindset, but doing the wrong thing. This is why inside our academy, we have a strategy which is very simple. It's called the trifecta, and it contains 3 parts. The goal is for you to just follow these 3 things. And if you're not losing weight, if you're not making progress, in 99.9% of times when we come back, we say, are you applying the strategy? It's like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm probably slacking on this point and this point and this point. I'm not actually following the strategy. And that's the reason why you're not getting the results. So guys, I'm going to recap. From the top, these are the 4 reasons why New Year's resolutions fail in 88% of cases, most of them by the end of January. Number 1, you're not in momentum going into the new year. To those of you that are sitting on the fence, shoot me a DM, because we've got to get you into momentum now to create some energy, some forward movement, so that you're not scratching your head on the 15th of January trying to get ready to go. Number 2 is I want you to actually have a think about what goals you set for this year, and was one of the problems that those goals actually weren't that important to you. Don't make the same mistake going into next year. What are the things that you actually care about? The things that you're going to prioritize, rain, hail, or shine. Number 3 is, where's your self-belief at? Because you can set all the goals, but if your goals are way too far out of your comfort zone, actually what you need to do is shrink back and set some micro goals that you can commit to for December. For example, it might just be that you're going to aim to walk 5,000 steps a day. It might just be that you're going to aim to perhaps fast on 3 mornings a week. It just might mean that you're going to commit to getting up at 6 a.m. If you can set these little micro goals and follow through, your self-confidence will build for the bigger goals. And finally, if you are pumped about next year, but honestly, you don't really know how to approach it, as in, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight, I want to be healthy, but I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, because to be honest, I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian. I'm not that familiar with the gym that I know that I'm doing the right thing. Well, you need to get a strategy. And if that's you, then reach out and I can help. Guys, I hope this podcast has been helpful and hit a note. For those of you that are inside Better Body Academy, I really want you to run through this and ask which of these 4 things has perhaps been something that you've neglected and maybe we can get right for next year. To those of you that are in the academy, I just want to say, guys, we are going to hit this new year hard. I am super psyched to take our academy to the next level, and this is where we need to go with this. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. This is it, the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast that you come to when you're sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.